it was a no-brainer that I titled my new book, Not by Faith Only, which is a direct quote from Yaakov's teaching about Abraham as an example of faith in action. It comes from chapter 2, where Yaakov is recounting how God tested Abraham by telling him to sacrifice his son Isaac, as recorded in Genesis 22. And beginning in chapter 2, verse 21, Yaakov asks us, Avraham, our father, was he not declared righteous by actions, having brought up Yitzchak, Isaac, his son, upon the altar? Do you see that the faith was working with his actions? And by the actions, the faith was perfected. And fulfilled was the scripture that is saying, and Avraham believed God, and it was credited to him to righteousness. And he was called friend of God. You see then that by actions is man declared righteous, and not by faith only. So while some on one hand will say that all we need is faith, and some on the other hand will say that our actions or works can earn us favor with God, according to Yaakov, both of these views are totally wrong. Because true faith is supposed to lead us naturally into actions, while actions, in turn, build up and perfect our faith. Faith or belief is fully sufficient for salvation. But according to Yaakov, by itself, faith is completely insufficient for an effective daily walk in the Master. This is why so many believers today still struggle in their faith, because they fail to put it into practice in their normal, everyday lives. Man is declared righteous by actions and not only by faith, because faith by itself, if it doesn't have actions, is dead. In my new book, Not by Faith Only, Messianic Jewish Discipleship from the book of Yaakov, I've taken Yaakov's words here to heart. In the book, I expound and elaborate on the many different subjects that Yaakov covers, walking you verse by verse through his whole letter. The book contains almost the entirety of Yaakov, with only a few exceptions due to space limitations, using the text from the Messianic Jewish literal translation of the New Covenant Scriptures, the MJLT NCS. The 28 chapters are short and easy to digest, each one based on a subsequent portion of Yaakov. But then, in keeping with the spirit of discipleship, we've also included at the end of each chapter a series of questions, with plenty of space to write your answers. These questions are perfect, not just for helping you understand the main points of each chapter, but for your own personal growth and self-reflection, for one-on-one discipleship with another believer, for small group discussion, and even for going through the book of Yaakov with your children or grandchildren, either as part of their schooling or as a Bible study. In fact, to make sure that the questions would be helpful and effective to you, they've each been field tested and fully approved by the whole Geoffrey family, including my teenager and my 9-year-old. So the questions are definitely the most practical part of the book. And finally, at the end of each chapter, I've also included a closing prayer to help you to ask God for the ability to apply what you learned in that chapter and to have those truths sealed and reinforced in your heart and mind. Not by faith only will help you to get to know the letter of Yaakov in a deeper, more hands-on way than ever before. It'll help you deal with issues you may have never dealt with before, and it will strengthen you in your walk with Yeshua. Just like the book of Yaakov itself, Not by Faith Only is a discipleship tool. But however you use it, it will give you not just a new perspective and renewed respect for the overlooked book of Yaakov, it will help reorient the way you see and apply your faith, and maybe even the way you see and apply the entire Bible. You can learn more about Not by Faith Only, as well as see sample pages and order your copy or copies today by going to our website, again at notbyfaithonly.com. That's notbyfaithonly.com. And if you use the promo code FAITH15 BCP during checkout, you'll also receive 15% off your entire order, including everything in our store.